I thought I had made a video, but I guess I didn't. I'm putting hay up, and you can see this is an L3301, so LA525 loader, which gives me, it's roughly 1,100 pounds lift capacity. These bales weigh about 800 pounds a piece, and I put a ballast block on my tractor, and that makes handling these really easy. It can lift them without the ballast block, but I wouldn't want to haul them very far or be turning a whole bunch. And so in the winter time, when I have to get a bale down, I can do it without putting the concrete block on, and it seems to work. So, but if I'm going to do a lot of moving, then I like to have that. I can stack them 3 high in my barn, and that's if I spear them at the bottom, near the bottom edge of the bale. Then I can lift them that high just barely. But it seems to work. And then I put pallets down on the floor because this is dirt and old hay. And so I don't want the bottom of the bales to rot, because this ground they'll draw moisture from it. And so I put them on pallets, and that way it keeps them dry and I don't waste a bunch of hay. I bought 29 dry round bales. I calculate that I usually need about 26 to 27. So that gives me a 2 bale surplus. And then if you remember, I had bought a whole bunch of wrapped ones. So now I have an additional 12 wrapped bales. So just in case next year is as bad as it is this year, or I get another cow, I have enough hay. I just put these all in here where I usually store boats and RVs, just to get them off the trailer, because I was cycling back and forth from where I bought them. But I can fit 9 bales on my flat deck trailer, and then 1 in the bed, so it makes a 10 load even loads if I need them. Yeah. And then the other thing that I did recently was, if you remember this winter, this area that's gravel now was all just muck, old hog fuel and cedar chips that had been basically combined with manure and water, and it was muddy. They were sinking about 10 inches into it, and that's no fun. So I hogged all that stuff out, a good portion of it this spring, and then some more just recently, and capped it with about 8 inches of pit run over the whole thing. So I'll let that compact, and then I'll probably throw some cedar chips right before I bring them in for the fall off the fields, and that'll give them a nice place to sit out there. And then hopefully, because I get a lot of water, both from the water, so where I have their drinking water out here, I don't want it inside, because when they pull their noses out of it, it drips all around. So this is always kind of damp around here. And then this roof doesn't have a gutter, which I'm thinking I might put a gutter on and channel that water away, but it runs right off the roof, right down here. So what I did is, you can't really see it in the video, but right here, it slopes down from there, and then this slopes there, so it should all run out that way. And I'll just make sure that it's graded, you know, when I bring them in. That way, any of the water that spills out or drips down here should run off. You know, I could have put like a French drain in or something, but I figured the cows would have just destroyed it anyway, so I didn't. We'll see how it works. If it doesn't work so great, well, we'll adapt and overcome. All right, I'm gonna get back at stacking the hay. All right, I am helping buddy that this guy get the hay from. He's got this field, and I'm just first accumulating all the bales in one area, and then we will bring wagons up, put them on the wagons, and then I'll just give them up, kind of how it works. Got my forks on. Got my ballast block on the back. Yeah, and it'll be a little noisy, so you probably won't be able to hear me. stack it over by his house. All right, catch you later. All right. I've been moving. I got all the bales out of the field, and now I'm shuttling them onto the hay wagon, and we take them down there just across the street. So we'll do a couple. See if I can do this. Oh, I hope the camera. Sorry about the just terrible camera thing. I'm trying to drive and operate the loader at the same time. But anyway, I can fit 11 to where I feel comfortable. I gotta go. This is a downhill grade right there, and it's pretty bumpy, and I don't want to be able to roll onto my truck, so I'm a little cautious. Or I could probably brave maybe 2 more bales on there. I could go double there and then 1 in the seam here. But anyway, 1 more load to go, and we'll have this field done. All right, well, it's one of these kind of sunsets that's kind of makes it worthwhile.
Cows are out here eating. The other night I got home late and they were laying out in the field still. They didn't go back in the barn. It's a good sign, I guess. I clipped this field down. It was kind of tall. They were picking through it a little bit. I might go over it again with the rotary mower just to break up some of the bigger chunks of grass. And the reason I did it was I think it's more of a conditioning issue, helping stimulate some grass growth. But the other thing is when they put their heads down and eat, they're not eating the tall stuff, so they go down closer to the ground. And then what ends up happening is they end up scratching their eyes on other grass and stalks and stuff like that. And then you get more of a risk of pink eye. And I don't want anyone getting pink eye because I don't want to have to treat it. So fly pressure isn't too bad. I've got the bag out there in the where they get into the barn, and so they can get that corral dust on them, and that helps keep the flies off. When it gets a little worse, then they'll end up dusting themselves pretty good. Right now I don't see them dusted too bad, so as the fly pressure gets a little bit more, then they'll end up using the bag a little bit more, but right now it's not terrible. And just looking at the way these are growing, I usually try to butcher 2 cows at a time. And I think that one there with the kind of bluish ear tag is probably going to be one of the first ones, just judging by his body shape, condition, and things like that. He's got nice flat wide back, good thickness, and then his shoulders are looking pretty good. I'm not quite sure on the other ones. This one with the yellow tag in his ear, he's the more crazy of them, so if I can get rid of him first, that's what I'm gonna shoot for doing. But he looks like he's a little bit slower growing, at least than this guy. This guy's gonna be big. Anyway, I'll see if I can get a better shot to show you what I'm kind of looking at.